Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on this Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for clicking on our WGRZ-Plus app and our streaming newscast, Daybreak Plus. How's it going, Pete?
It's going great. You get a special treat. You get both of us today.
Lucky you.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it is still St. Patrick's Day. I feel like it's been St. Patrick's Day since Friday, but today is the real day. We had a taste of summer-like weather over the weekend, and now it feels like winter again. It's going to feel like spring at some point this week.
That is spring in Western New York.
And we've got James Gregorio, who's in for Patrick this week. James, how's it going?
It's going well. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. Yeah, the spring-like weather, I think, was more of a tease than anything else, but it's going to come back here middle of the week, which is great news. So it's a cold start here. Talk about weather whiplash. I mean, temperatures just hammered down quickly. I was driving on the 90 yesterday. Syracuse, it was 70 degrees. By the time I pulled into Buffalo, it was 46 degrees. So that's a pretty short amount of time to drop that much temperature-wise. Much improved here. Partly cloudy here. That's definitely great news. You can see those clearing skies all the way from Michigan down in through the UP and a little further southward into the Niagara frontier. So starting to clear out over Erie and Ontario as well, which is great news. So we're going to be talking about an improving forecast as we head through the afternoon hours. So by 1 o'clock, notice that clearing all the way from Lockport to Buffalo to East Aurora. Ellicottville looking good here as we scoot in towards 2 o'clock. Likewise, shaping up great. You know, we've got some clouds moving off to the east as well. They'll continue to do so. So well east of us here. So all the way through the south towns and the southern tier looking fantastic as well. So we're going to enjoy a lot of sunshine. It is a much better looking afternoon than it is this morning. This morning we're still dealing with the clouds and kind of the dreary conditions. Temperatures, starting out chilly. Jamestown at 26, Buffalo at 32, Niagara Falls at about 30 degrees. Wind chills making it feel even colder. It feels like it's 21 in Olean. Jamestown feeling like 16 degrees this morning, so you still need to bundle up. Hour by hour we go. There are improvements, which is certainly good news, particularly throughout the afternoon hours where we've got a good bit of sunshine heading our way as we slide into 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Not very warm, though, still in the 30s. And then, by 10 o'clock, those temperatures are down into the upper 20s. So make sure you bundle up as well as you make your way out tomorrow morning. Pretty good radiational cooling night. All right, so Thursday night, probably our best chances for some showers here. That is after high temperatures on Wednesday at about 70 degrees. So I'm going to step out of the way so you can see this better vantage point. There it is. Wednesday 71, Thursday 55. It's 55 because we've got our next little weather maker moving in, and that'll drop those temperatures. And obviously with the clouds and a few showers, we're not going to get to 71. But hey, we did better than that yesterday and twice in 1 week in March, 70 plus. That's a bonus. Hot numbers today, right around 41. The early sprinkle threat really kind of gone. We're going to become partly cloudy to mostly sunny as we move in towards tonight. Temperatures dipping down into the upper 20s under mainly clear skies. Light winds as well. Winds are westerly at about 5 to 10. Getting a check of that 7-day forecast. Looks like this tomorrow we're in the low 60s. Wednesday, lower 70s. Fantastic. And then by Thursday, lots of clouds, few showers here, kind of the dog of the week, but 55. That's above where we should be for this time of year. Kind of a back to dose of reality on Friday with a high temperature in the lower 40s as we head to the south towns and your southern tier. A little bit cooler on Wednesday in the southern tier for highs. Upper 60s should do it then. So all in all, pretty good picture, pretty tranquil week. So nothing as significant weather-wise as what we saw yesterday, guys.
All right, Ben, looks good. Quite the roller coaster ride. James, Thank you. We'll check back in with you in a little bit. But right now, we want to talk St. Patrick's Day, and festivities will continue in Lackawanna today. At noon, the shortest St. Patrick's Day parade will step off at Our Lady of Victory Basilica. The folks will walk about 100 steps to Lackawanna City Hall. What a gorgeous building that is, isn't it?
Yes.
The Basilica, by the way, sits on the former site of St. Patrick's Church, and there will be bagpipes and an honor guard and much more. And then during Mass, Father David LaPuma and Mayor Annette Iafallo will present a flower wreath at the altar of St. Patrick right in the Basilica.
It's so funny you point that out because you're going from the Basilica,
which is gorgeous,
one of the most beautiful buildings, to City Hall.
Right.
Oh, well, meanwhile, thousands made their way to downtown Buffalo yesterday to march through the raindrops and celebrate the annual St. Patrick's Day parade down Delaware Avenue. This one's going for 100 years strong in the city. Mother Nature did a wee bit to upset the Irish, but that didn't stop people from celebrating.
When it rains, the parade stops.
Yeah.
But St. Patrick's Day doesn't stop.
Yeah, never. We see us, we still out, we wet. You know, it gets us going, man.
This was honestly packed from here to all the way down there for at least 3.5 hours, regardless of the rain. That's how you show you're a true Buffalonian, and I love that for us.
Where's your raincoat?
There you go. The parade dates back to 1913. It's organized each year by the United Irish American Association.
Yeah, it was beautiful before the parade. It was beautiful after the parade, but it was during the parade. Everyone got soaked, and everyone watching the parade got soaked as well. So the timing really couldn't have been worse. But before the parade, I mean, I was only expecting it to be in the mid-60s. I did not expect mid-70s weather.
Right.
But it actually, compared to years past, I think the forecast may have scared a lot of people away because there were not a lot of people in the bars downtown. Right. I checked out a few just to kind of get
just research.
Research.
You're a journalist,
exactly.
So you had to do your
the
research.
Tough questions.
Absolutely.
And so it seemed to have been, not as busy as years past. But for those who did go, it was really kind of beautiful, except for the parade itself.
The tough questions like, can I have another drink?
Right.
But both parades had a little bit of rain, more so yesterday than Saturday, but Saturday was the return of the old neighborhood parade through the valley and the ward.
We saw kilts, we saw green, lots of different ways to celebrate St. Patrick's Day through the valley and the First Ward. And people we spoke with say that it's really important, especially here at this parade, to pass down their Irish heritage to the next generation.
Given our family history of being Irish, we just like to bring the kids down, kind of celebrate with everybody who wants to celebrate with us. So it's just a fantastic day. Kids love it. Candy's being thrown out. Music's being played. Candy. So yeah, it's just a great day.
Yeah, we saw the beer in your hand, by the way. And as always, the Gallivan family marched in the old neighborhood parade. But this year, something a little special. My cousin Chip Butler was the Grand Marshal. So we had a place of honor being the first family. And right after the sheriff's bagpipes, and we had a great turnout. And here we're taking our annual picture outside of my grandfather's boyhood home on Elk Street. And we've got me, then Hannah, and my wife Sarah, my brother Steve, my nephew Sam, my son Ben, and his girlfriend Natalie. So we had a great great family gathering. And then,
Ben looks so much like Sarah in that picture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, especially when Sarah doesn't shave.
Oh, geez.
It looks exactly.
Oh.
Just kidding. Oh, she's going to kill me.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was great. It was a great time.
Yeah, and anyone in Western New York knows that those two parades are so different because you are Irish, and everyone in the First Ward parade really is celebrating their Irish heritage. There aren't as many Irish people at the downtown parade.
No, but everyone's Irish that day. And
Right.
a lot of people, you talk to someone who's really Irish. A friend of mine's from Belfast, and he posts every year pictures of different parades getting out of hand, and people, he goes, I hate St. Patrick's Day. Because, it's that element I think we could do without. But, the togetherness. Now, mind you, we are marching through the neighborhood parade. So I'm not in the crowd.
Right.
I'm marching through and seeing the crowd.
Okay.
So it might be a totally different situation if I'm at the corner of Hamburg and South Park.
Right.
Fighting for a view and a beer.
Well, happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. And we love seeing your photos. We want to go through some of the pics that a lot of you posted this weekend. Yes, this is Josie O'Patty with her St. Patrick's Day gear on. Lori Sanderson shared that photo with us on Facebook.
Oh, and Erica Miller shared this photo with her and her group at Brushstroke Studios.
Ah, very nice. And Jillian Kanan posted this picture of some kiddos outside the Statler. Those are great sweaters.
Oh, I love it.
We want to thank you guys for sharing your St. Patrick's Day fun with us. And if you haven't posted yet, when you share them on social media, just use the hashtag #BeOn2 so that we can share your photos on air and online. And switching gears now to the Buffalo Bills. This story breaking about 12 hours ago. Could a reunion with Stefon Diggs happen this offseason? Look at this. It's been pointed out on social media that Diggs has posted all of his old photos from his days in Orchard Park. He put them up again on his Instagram page. He took them down right after he got traded to the Texans. Then, of course, you know, he tore his ACL playing for the Texans in Week 8. But he's a free agent now. And so I read a couple of the blogs and seeing what people are saying. And some are saying, okay, give him a year contract, a prove-it type of contract if he's healthy. What a reunion that would be.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing, if he's healthy,
Right.
because a knee injury at his age, a knee injury at any age is a tough one, but the ACL, you never know how that's going to play out and how effective he's going to be. But yeah, I mean, even if it's just come back and say, flip a coin,
Right.
see what happens.
Right. I would say I'd trust Brandon Beane in the process, but Brandon, got into a little trouble over the weekend when we found out the two of the players that we got in free agency are now out for 6 games for performance-enhancing drugs. So that was not great news over the weekend.
No, that was, and then the injuries on top of that. It's like, well, okay, well, so maybe Diggs back to Buffalo and a reunion of Josh and Steph. But we are hearing from a familiar face as well. One of the signings that is coming back, Damar Hamlin. The safety re-signed with the Bills on a 1-year deal, keeping him with the team that drafted him and with the city that has become such an important part of this story. Hamlin says he's just happy to stay in the place that means so much to him.
It feels amazing to be back. This is home. This is all I know as a pro, and I'm connected to this place on a totally different level. So, this is the place I want to be. This is, where I would want to spend my whole career if I can. So, it feels good to be back.
Yeah, this community wrapped him in a blanket of love, so I can see why you'd be thinking that.
And there was some fear that he wouldn't be staying with the team since he was a free agent, so it's great to see that he's going to come back. And there's that emotional connection, I think, most with Damar Hamlin. And so there is a Sports Talk Live tonight right here on Channel 2, and so you can bet that they will be tackling all of the issues of what happened with free agency and talking about the Sabres also, which we'll talk about the Sabres later on in this streaming newscast. But I'm interested to see what the guys have to say about the potential Diggs reunion.
Yeah, and all the elements that came out over the weekend as well. All right.
All right, and now from football to basketball now. March Madness time, folks. The brackets are set, and this SEC has set a record with 14 of its 16 teams making the Division I men's basketball tournament. The SEC also boasts 2 of the tournament's 4 number 1 seeds. We're talking about Auburn and Florida, and then Houston and Duke are the other number 1 seeds in the tournament.
The only time of year we use the word bracketology. And March Madness is also starting on a down note here in Western New York. Yeah, the undefeated season for Daemen University has come to an end. The Wildcats lost to St. Thomas Aquinas yesterday in the second round of the NCAA D2 tournament. Actually, that's the team they beat in the conference championships. But Daemen just couldn't hold that 9-point lead, and ultimately their first loss of the season is the one that ends it for good. Daemen's historic runs ends in the second round, 79-74 the final.
And as for the Division I schools in Western New York, unfortunately, there's not going to be any representatives in the NCAA tournament. But 2 schools will keep kind of playing on. The St. Bonaventure men accepted a bid to the NIT, so they'll be hosting Kent State tomorrow night at the Riley Center. That game is on at 7 on ESPNU. And the UB women, well, they're headed for the WNIT for a 2nd straight year. The details for that bracket will come out later today. Will you do a bracket, Pete?
I typically don't, but maybe this year.
Yeah, I don't follow college basketball that closely. I did go to Syracuse when they won the national championship in 2003 with Carmelo Anthony, but I really don't follow it too closely anymore. But I kind of like just filling out a bracket for fun, not throwing too much money at it at all, but it just gives me something to watch and root for.
It makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah.
Maybe I will.
And one other sports note before we head to break. Right now, the Players' Championship is in a playoff with J.J. Spawn and Rory McIlroy. They couldn't do it yesterday, but they're finishing up right now. It's a 3-hole aggregate, and then it keeps going into sudden death if it's tied after 3 holes. And so it's been a long time since the players have gone into to a playoff. So it should have been Rory McIlroy's. He was 3 strokes up, and then he let it all go.
I was going to say, I'm not a golf guy, but who are you pulling for?
Oh, I like Rory, so
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that Rory pulls it off. But we'll keep you updated. I mean, maybe by 9:24 we'll have a better idea of what's going on. All right, let's head to break, and we'll be right back with more. All right, welcome back. We do want to talk about some weather happening across the country. If you've followed over the weekend, deadly storms devastated much of the South and the Midwest over the weekend. At least 40 people have died across Missouri and Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Alabama, and Mississippi.
Yeah, it's the same system that we got a little nip of yesterday with the severe weather coming through. But severe weather has killed 12 people across Missouri alone as the state continues to be in a state of emergency. NBC News' Adrienne Broadus reports.
And we are in a neighborhood where homes are barely standing. This house to the right of me was once home to a family of 6. If you take a look, you'll notice the roof is missing, the walls are gone, and vehicles in the driveway have been crushed. This after that EF2 tornado ripped through this neighborhood, carrying wind speeds of up to 130 miles per hour. Across the state of Missouri, at least 12 people have been killed. But it's not just the physical damage that people are dealing with. There are also power outages across the region. Over here, there's another home missing its roof and some of its walls. Inside, people are trying to collect and gather whatever belongings they can. As cleanup continues, many are wondering how long it will take to rebuild. It's been a day of neighbors helping neighbors. We've seen some folks in this community with tree trimming services helping to clear the roadway so emergency vehicles can get through. And that tornado was on the ground for 13 miles. Back to you.
Just devastation there. That was Adrienne Broadus reporting.
Yeah, and James, it was a crazy weather weekend for the Southeast, a dangerous one. What can we expect up here in Western New York this week, though?
Yeah, it looks so much better now. You know what, guys? After we had our little taste of that same system that produced the severe weather in the South yesterday, now we're left with a much better St. Patrick's Day here. Cold early, chilly and raw somewhat today. Partly cloudy, no doubt, and partly cloudy becoming mostly sunny as we head into the afternoon hours. So the worst of our weather is also through by a long shot here, but it will be chilly. Today's sort of that transition day. We're left with the cold air from the frontal boundary pushing through. And of course, it was a strong cold front that was the catalyst for all of that severe weather. We had lots of warm air at ahead of the front. The front came through with a potent cold air mass behind it, and boom, you know, we opened up the floodgates for some significant weather. Now that has all moved away, and we're talking about much improved weather as we head into the afternoon hours. So it's just going to take a day or so to moderate the air mass, the cold air that's in place, for us to pop those temperatures back into the 60s for tomorrow. So this afternoon, you know, it looks pretty good. Step one, get the clouds out of here, and we've got that. So we're going to be talking about clearing skies, sunshine, 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, all looking good. Next couple days here look all right as we head in towards tonight. Cold, though, at about 28 degrees, moving in towards tomorrow, a high temperature of about 61 degrees. So that's substantially warmer and milder than where we are today by about 20 degrees. And then as we head in towards your Wednesday, we're going to be talking about high temperatures into the lower 70s. So yeah, another day, guys, of 70 or better coming back within the span of, what is that, 3 days, 4 days? So yeah. I almost lost track of the days. So yeah, so suffice it to say, that's a lot of 70-degree high temperatures in a short amount of time, especially for March in Western New York.
It's easy to lose track of the days on St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Sure. All right, we will take those 70s. Thank you so much.
And tonight, the Sabres are back in action. They're going to be in Boston to take on the Bruins. They'll be trying to build off of Saturday's exciting win over Vegas. Major part of the win won't be found on the score sheet, though. Peyton Krebs was the key in two big moments. There you see him stepping up to defend his teammate Yuri Kulik, who just got buried. And then late in the game, he back checks that. His hustle prevented an empty net, and that would have been the dagger to keep the one-goal game. But the Sabres come back, and they score less than 30 seconds later to tie it up, send it into overtime.
That is the type of engine that keeps you in the game and keeps you on a team, and it defines, where he wants to get, probably where he was drafted as more as a skill to becoming this guy that can go up the lineup, go down the lineup.
Yeah, the Sabres and Bruins drop the puck tonight at 7 o'clock. Josh Norris, Yuri Kulik, and J.J. Peterka are all questionable to play tonight. They didn't practice yesterday. But the one thing that friends of mine at the game said, because Jack Eichel scored the go-ahead goal and thought he had won it.
Right. And then 30 seconds later, the Sabres tied it up. But I'm sure, every time Eichel touched the puck, people were booing. And so to think that the Sabres were potentially going to lose this game because Jack Eichel had the game-winning goal. So how exciting that then they tied it up, went into OT, and then went into the shootout.
Yeah, I guess Jack had some serious swagger after he scored that goal and kind of silenced the crowd. And then Darlene scores, and then Jack misses the shootout as well. Right. So. All right. Well, hopefully the Sabres.
We sound so bitter, but at the same time, it's like, he said such nasty things about Buffalo right after he left. Then he took it back and he kind of apologized for the things that he said. But there's still, I don't know, me personally, a bad taste in my mouth when I think of Jack Eichel.
Yeah, I've kind of progressed to the point where there are situations where athletes don't fit in, and it just doesn't work in a certain location. He's doing well in Vegas, but I just would like to see the Sabres do well in Buffalo.
Yeah, but that would be nice, Pete. That's what we're all hoping for. So speaking of golf, I'm just getting updates right now. Rory has the advantage. He got a birdie on the first hole. JJ Spawn parred it. So they're going on to the 17th hole, which is the Island Green. So I'll keep you updated on the players. Anyway, golf here in Western New York, though. Lots of the golf courses are opening up, and there was also a golf expo at Buffalo Riverworks over the weekend to get everybody ready for golf. Shoppers had the chance to not just shop, but also watch the Players Championship on the big screen and sample some beers as well. Organizers say it was just all a way to support small businesses.
Come see what local businesses, kind of what their new products are for the upcoming season. We really want people to be thinking about what are the local businesses they can support in golf. So not necessarily like the national chains or anything like that, but more, what are the businesses right here in Buffalo who have awesome golf apparel that they can buy and wear for the season.
Very cool. Hey, did you see the latest update?
What's that?
Rory was about to win, but Peyton Krebs came back and knocked the putt out.
Knocked it out of the way, right? So that was the Expo's second year, and there's a lot of excitement around golf right now because a lot of the courses are opening up. Elliot and I went to Arrowhead on Friday. I know that Diamond Hawk is opening up on Wednesday for golfers. Delaware Park is open. You can play all 18 for just $10 if you want to walk it. What else? Terry Hills is usually open year-round. If you can play in January, Terry Hills will be open. So lots of the courses are opening up, and not as wet as I thought it would be out there. It was actually pretty dry and really good conditions at Arrowhead, which is in Akron.
Yeah, and Thursday it was open to walkers, and Friday the carts could go on.
Were out.
You never, that's unheard of.
I know.
In March.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of golf to be had, and a lot of people excited about that. I know a lot of my friends have been out.
Yeah, everyone's talking now about what's going to happen with like the Top Golf-ish facility that might be coming to Buffalo, big, huge project, and that'll allow people to golf year-round, not just at the Whirly Dome or the Paddock Dome, but have somewhere else fun to golf. And lots of simulators, too. More and more simulators are popping up in fun golf area. Indoor things for people to take advantage during the winter.
And it's that neat time of year down in Ellicottville. We got to get a shot of people skiing and golfing. That's always
only in Buffalo, right?
Wonderful shot. Yep.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, for the stream. We'll see you back here at 9 a.m. tomorrow.